All right, and let's confirm that we're live on YouTube before we start yakking. And yes, sir, we are live on YouTube. I'll send y'all the link if y'all want to share it. Give me 1 second
Send it.
here.
Usually it pops up.
Okay, cool.
Usually.
All right, so let's get into it. Welcome to the podcast. Since we're live on YouTube, this is the Cineformation Podcast where we've been talking about the Jackal for a while, and it's time to wrap it up. Did not know it. I don't know if you all knew it, but we had a surprise that they dropped episodes 9 and 10. I don't know if you all knew that or not.
Did not.
I saw it coming.
Okay.
I know that
I did
9
not
was
know that.
on whenever we started on Thursday. 9 released like that morning, but I didn't know 10 was already released or was going to release.
Right. Yeah, it confused me. So we got both episodes. We binged them. We're ready to close it out. I do want to say, I feel like I called it that they were pretty much going to wrap it up in episode 9, and episode
Yeah.
10 was just like
Filler.
whatever. But
loose ends. It might as well
yeah.
have just been called loose ends, is what
Yeah.
that should have been called.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
But all right, we're gonna
Nonsense.
get into it, and we're gonna start with just go through the story of episode 9 and everything, or episode 9 to 10, and we'll go from there. So episode 9, we kind of start off that don't really know where we start off actually. As I'm
Are
trying
we
to
starting
remember.
here or are we starting with games?
Oh, good call, Chris. Thank you.
Keep us on track.
Chris does keep
There we
us
go.
on track. All right. So yeah, before we get into talking about episode 9, when I check notes here in a second, we're gonna get into, of course, game time. And fair warning, I didn't make the games this time. I had some help from the wife, and so even though I still can't play because I've seen them, I helped make the games. I didn't pick the content, so
Right. Right.
let's see how this goes.
You just don't want to
Alright,
challenge
here we
us.
go.
I understand that.
All right, so let's get this screen shared. And we're starting off. So, concepts of our games is guess the film, whether it is by picture, by emojis, by log line. So, we're starting off with our classic go to, and it's by the picture. So, when you know what movie it is, shoot it in the comments. See if you can beat these guys at it. All right, so here we go. Let's share the screen.
Can't. It's impossible. Won't allow it.
All right.
Got it.
it.
Ah.
I think
I know that one.
So Chris got his one and only point, and
I don't know. He's good at the pictures, man. He seems to know
man.
frames. Like he just picks stills out.
okay. So do y'all need more time? Hint, Chris
I think
and
I
Jake,
got it.
or not Chris and Jake?
I might be wrong, but
Corey and
I'll
Jake.
stick with my thought.
I think I need a hint. I'm too dumb on this one. Oh, very funny. Okay, I understand what you meant now. Okay, I think I know what it is now.
Okay. Chris, do you want to tell us what it is?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
Yes, with the Sesame Street lunchbox and
Yeah.
the Chucks.
I knew from
Who's
the,
his suit?
the sitting
That-
in the lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie. All right, on to the next one. And Corey, did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay,
I got
cool,
it. Pursuit of Happiness. Sorry, I'm gonna be muting back and forth.
You
with
good,
the
you
3
good.
in the background.
All right.
I know what jersey that is. I don't know what
think
movie it's
I
from.
think I got this one already. I
Yeah.
think I got it.
That's.
Thank you.
I wonder if that's
I think I got
I
it.
know who that is. I just don't know what movie it is. I can't
Might
remember
need
the
might need one more to confirm, but I think I'm pretty sure I got it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We don't have to get on the first picture. Next, please.
No. So I tried something new. I'm making it more. We might try this out where I make it more of a puzzle piece. So you get the next another piece of the image
Yes, thank you for the snack.
Interesting.
while also getting the last clue. Yeah, because you might forget what's in the last clue.
Yeah, I think. I
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
So I hope the chandelier in the background helped you out a little bit more. But
I don't know if the chandelier has anything to do with my guess, but now that you say that, I feel like maybe I'm wrong. But I'm gonna stick with
It
my
doesn't.
guess.
I thought maybe giving you more of a character without revealing,
Yeah.
but
Can I ask a question? Can I ask if this is the actor?
what do you mean?
The person in that jersey, I think I
Oh,
know who it is, and it's
yes.
it's making me think of movies that person is in. I could be completely off if this
Yeah,
isn't that
yeah. You
person.
can use lifelines. Lifelines.
Is that Adam Sandler?
No,
Okay, I'm see I was
It's
down a
Mark
completely wrong
Wahlberg.
road.
No,
no.
I don't think so either.
All right,
If
all
I
right,
know
y'all.
what this
I have
is,
no
then-
idea
So
what this is.
All right, can
I-
I guess before we go
I
further?
feel like I should take points from Corey and Jake for not getting this,
I
but
got it.
I'm just trying. All right, go on.
I don't
Silver
have any
Linings
points. You can
Playbook.
take whatever you want.
What do you? What's your
Silver
guess?
Linings Playbook.
Corey.
Oh,
man.
you're so right. Oh, dude. Well done.
Chris. Don't you
I've
just
never
feel
seen
like?
that movie.
Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper, man.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I mean,
Jennifer
yeah.
I
Lawrence
have
from
never seen.
Kentucky,
I
you
know
gotta
what the
watch
movie
all
is,
of
but
her
I've never
stuff.
seen
I've
it.
never seen it either. The cast looks amazing. I might
That's a
watch
good
it,
movie.
but
Really
Yeah.
good feel-good movie if you want to sit down and watch.
yeah,
one.
it said that it was a comedy, and I'm looking at the screen grabs, and it's like don't look like
Kinda.
a comedy.
It's a very dark comedy, if a comedy at all. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
It's pretty
Yeah,
cool though. It's like,
uh,
if you like football,
Does that movie have
you'll enjoy
LeBron
it.
James in it
I don't
or
know
Chris
if
Tucker?
No.
One of them.
Yes, it has Chris Rock.
yeah, oh
Chris
yeah.
Rock's in it.
Or yeah, Chris Rock. No, it's Chris
I don't know
Tucker.
who-
Chris Tucker. You're right. Chris
I was about to
Tucker.
say, it
Yeah,
had one of
it's
them
Chris
in it
Tucker.
because I wanted to watch it because they were in. I never saw it.
Yeah, it's Chris Tucker and De Niro actually does acting in
De
this movie.
Niro's in it too. Yep. All right, going on down to the last one.
Struggling boys. Oh my gosh.
I mean, to me, it
Is
looks
that-
like
I think I maybe, but
This is like the Hobbit, but he's wearing shoes.
That's-
What is this?
yeah, I know that's what was throwing me off. It was like the Hobbit, but
he's reading his book. It looks like he's in a park. I would imagine, I'm seeing bigger picture, maybe a park or something.
Next picture.
Yeah, next picture. We got nothing.
Okay,
Oh,
this-
I know it. Gosh dang it.
Dang, this gives away like the era a little
Tom,
bit,
Yeah.
I still don't.
I
really
take
know
that
this
back.
one,
I
guys.
don't know this.
Is this
Is it Jumanji? What is this?
Is it Jumanji?
I mean,
That
it looks
would've-
like Alan sitting in the park before
No,
he
this
is-
ruins the shoe factory.
Yeah,
What is this?
Is this
That's
it's not a beautiful mind.
Jake,
It's
we're counting on you here.
You are right, Jake.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did I get that name right? Yes. I couldn't think of
everybody
the
got a
name.
point.
I was like, it's like yeah. Woo.
I actually have never seen this movie.
Yeah.
It's good?
Yeah, me neither. But yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know it's a really
That's
good movie. I just never seen it myself.
Oh yeah.
So let me stop sharing the screen here. But that was
Thank
the game.
God,
I
finally
think
got something.
yeah,
Everybody got
Jake's-
a point.
Yep. Everybody has a point on that
One
one.
across the board, baby.
Yes, sir. So as we're getting back to the main topic of the discussion, which is episode 9, and how that kind of took off for the Jackal. If you're looking at this now or whatever, you're not caught up. We are going to talk about spoilers if you're new here or whatever, just to go on and throw that out there.
Get over.
So yeah, it is time to go over the overall story of episode 9. So so episode 9 kind of starts off where I think she's getting a phone call, or no, she's in the office and she's seeing that the information they pull the older black gentleman out to be interviewed. I think it's kind of like they're trying to they're trying to distract us with who is yet to be named the Weasel ultimately.
Hey, kind of shocker, but I think they were keeping us from it.
Yeah, I think Chris called it from the jump. I think he thought it was who we're about to say the Weasel is anyway. But I mean, it ends up being the I forget her name, but the older lady,
Isabel.
Isabel. That's what it was. Yeah, they spell everything so weird. But yeah, so we figured out he's getting investigated, and then it goes into
Before we get too far,
Yeah.
I forget what the scene was before this, but it shows I don't know, was it in episode 8 that the brother-in-law talk to him about a problem he may have or something like that?
No, I
No, no,
think
no. I'm
it's
getting
done in
confused.
this one. It's in
No,
this
yeah, that
episode.
was in 9. Yeah.
What it started was he was looking at the water because the boats came
Yeah,
on
exactly.
real early in the beginning of this episode,
That
and
was like the very next thing that
they were
happened.
showing
Yeah.
the security that UDC had around his island that he was living on.
Yep.
Yeah, and he always goes out for
But
a
the
swim.
cool thing is, I thought that Trey might have caught this early on. I don't know if you saw what he was searching on his computer, but he literally searched a camera gimbal.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He
I
ended
saw
up
it.
modifying for his gun, but I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, that was the rig that he had. I was
Yeah.
gonna, I
Right.
mean, was gonna wait till we got closer to that, but I was like, Trey, do you think you could, with your Steadicam rig,
That-
you think you
well,
can make that shot?
That's why I sent that. I sent that out to see if I can throw it up on here. But that's why I sent that picture because it's
Yeah.
literally like the same kind of equipment I had. He had a higher end, which honestly he might not have needed it. But maybe you're sitting on water movement. But we'll get to that. So
I
Yeah,
mean,
we
yeah.
we're
get in.
talking like millions of dollars to blow someone's head off, Trey. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, you buy
can't.
something nice.
So it starts off, he's looking at the water, and it kind of brings two of the environments together where our Jackal is checking out the water. Kind of, we want to think he's sightseeing, but he's really not. He's doing some research and what's
Yeah,
happening on
because
the other end.
the handler actually interacts with him at this scene, right? And she's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Hey,
she pops up.
what
She's
are
like,
you
"Hey,
doing?
what the hell
Don't you
happened?"
need to get back to your job?" And he's like, "I'm not here on I'm not
On
here on
holiday.
vacation or on holiday or whatever." He's like, "This is business."
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, she popped up because she's, of course, she's the advocate for the people hiring him, but they're kind of acting like he messed up, but he didn't.
Yeah.
It was definitely someone else messing him up. But anyway, we're getting into that whole conversation, and then what it really goes into is showing off the amount of security that they've amped up for UDC, which they've added in a tactic of any boat that comes in radius, they're going out to it, circling it. They got a drone on it, checking it out, and all that stuff. So they've really amped up the security on UDC.
That seemed weird to me.
It the
That seemed crazy. Yeah, like if you were, I mean, I don't know. It's not in America. So if you were, if I was minding my business and Elon Musk is on a lake and his people, because I'm
Right.
too close, I'd be like, yo, if you don't get the fuck away from me, I'm
Mhm.
minding my business. I don't give a shit what you're doing. But you're not in America.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
And then there was a conversation with the guy, as y'all's pointed out, with the red cap, his significant other, his partner, and sorry, I never noticed the red cap like that until you all said that, and then I was like, wow,
I didn't notice
okay.
it
Yeah, he
until
just
Jake said
yeah,
something.
always
Jake
had
brought
that
that
red cap, just the entire, like every single time he was on that island, just red cap. I was like, what's with his red cap?
So yeah, I started to pay attention to that a little bit more to kind of try to figure out some things with that, and I don't think there's any significance, but
No, I think it was just a style choice.
it is it was a significant style choice for sure.
Yeah.
So then that happens, they have their moment, and we're back into Bianca going to visit the last living known person, the commander actually of the group, the
Squadron.
Yeah.
Squadron or
Captain.
whatever.
Yeah.
who is dying of cancer. And it even just touched even more on why I hate her character. She walked in there, she was bringing a fruit basket, and then she
Fuck that
decided,
shit.
it's like her internal dark soul just spoke to her. It's like, don't bring that in there. So she
I
dropped
think-
it off. Yeah,
I think
go
that she had an internal
That people
decision
already-
to make. Because she didn't have anybody else with her. She was by herself. She couldn't play the good cop, bad cop. So it's not like she can bring the fruit basket and then be an asshole. You got to
She
go
just-
in and be an asshole. Or you got to go in and be nice. One of the
Okay.
two. And she made
Yeah.
a decision.
It's like
Okay.
she was bringing the fruit basket to get to the room, and that was like her
Even
end
that might be
game.
it too.
Yeah,
Disguise.
good
Yeah.
call.
Like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm
no, that
making
makes
She's in my
sense.
six
Screw
though,
this
bro. She could
basket.
just walk in and say, "Hey, I need to see such and such."
Yeah.
Yeah. Was
And then
she
she just
rogue?
flat
No,
out-
she wasn't rogue at this time. She was back on it.
Yeah, she
Um,
was back
yeah.
on it, and
Yeah.
she flat out takes away the nurse call button from him. And was like, "Oh, you can talk to the nurse once you're done talking to me."
Yeah, it was just, it's like, come on, this dude's dying of cancer. He needs his, it's just, I don't know. It's like, man, I
Yeah.
hope it comes and gets you real
And
soon.
it's interesting too. Like he was military, right? And Chris, you can probably talk on this a little bit, but it's like he's military, but he didn't want to talk to MI6. He's like, I don't want to talk to you. You're in MI6.
bro. You could see why. This show will show you why. Like
Yeah.
their agencies, just because you work for the government doesn't mean that you
No.
fuck with other people that work with the government. You
No.
got
Right.
your own shit going on, and they got their own shit going on. You see their
Mhm.
button heads all the time. She didn't even know what they were doing half the time. It's classified. So it's just every just because you work for the government don't mean you all talk to each other.
Yep.
True. True.
Um. So then the Jackal actually goes home. Um.
Yeah.
He
Big
What's the
has
mistake.
scene coming up here for me?
He
he had
promised.
he promised no, and hey, man of his word.
That's true. No. Yeah.
Man of his
he's-
word.
Yeah.
So a significant scene for me too, Corey, because he comes home, he has a moment with his son, and
Mm.
as he was coming home, did he not see his wife, or did he just want to?
Oh, he definitely did not see her.
Okay,
He didn't
okay.
see
I
her.
was trying to I was like, he don't got peripheral vision or something.
No, he
he's
walked in. He stumbled across his son looking for his wife.
Okay, yeah,
He
right,
walked right
yeah,
past her.
yeah. So he goes to hang out with the son. They're playing a little airplane, and he's bonding. Got the airplane, talking about how they're gonna fly away, and he speaks um,
French.
French. Is it French?
I think
Sure,
he
it's not
speaks French.
Spanish.
I think it
it's
was Spanish. Yeah, I think it was
Because they're in
Spanish.
Spain.
Spanish.
They're not
Yeah,
in France.
I think it was
Yeah,
Spanish to
But
his.
he speaks a lot of French.
Yeah,
Um,
but
His
yeah,
wife speaks Spanish.
but his wife speaks
well,
And his son's name
Spanish,
is Carlito.
I'm
and
aware, but
and
I
thought
don't
he
know.
was speaking
Who cares? They
French.
speak a foreign language.
well, no, it does.
I think he spoke. I think he spoke a couple, but I don't.
Well, it
I
does
could be
matter
wrong.
because it was Spanish because she then it told her while she was watching on the baby monitor that he does know how to speak my language completely.
Right, he just doesn't.
He
Yeah,
just didn't do it. And then that's where she's
Yeah.
like, you need to tell me who you are.
yeah.
If you caught that. Yeah. So
And
So,
she,
yeah.
yeah, she confronts him. Obviously, it is very like, is any of this real? Are you real? Like, what is this? And
Yeah.
including like the wedding ring. Like, is this real? Like, are we married for real? And do you love me? And
Dude, at that point, it made me think, is she part of a mission? Is this part of something that he had been working on? Like, is this a bigger mission for like season 2 or 3? Maybe I was digging too deep, but I was like, man, like he's used crazy disguises before. He will use love to get into somebody's life. He did it with Ramses and ended up dead.
Right.
Yep.
yeah,
yeah. So is there a past piece that we don't know? Like, is she the niece or something to the
I feel like he
original?
was working a mission before he ran into her. When he ran into her at that bar.
Yeah, at the cafe or whatever.
That's something to keep in mind with how season 10 ends, and we'll get to that. But that's
maybe. I
something
mean,
to keep in mind.
I could see how they could write it that way, but I just get the feeling that they wanted to just add complexity to his character, and they try to parallel that with Bianca, who is conflicted with her home life, and he's conflicted with his home life because technically it compromises them both. But Bianca probably would have been better served staying at home.
Yes, she should have just said, you know what? Yeah, like yeah, I'm gonna just go after this guy by myself. I mean, yeah.
Mm,
Anyway,
not a good idea.
so
Can't go rogue with people like that. You end up dead, even quit real quick.
no, that's the best way to end up missing.
But the scene that I wanted to cover, which was right at the same point, was just how intense it was when she made him say what he does.
Yeah.
When she said, "Tell me what you do."
At first, I thought it was like a
Do you kill
wire
people for
situation.
money?
I did too. I
Dude,
was waiting
I thought
for
it was-
somebody to pop out and
Yeah, like she was making him yell it so that it was recorded like very
Yeah,
clearly, but then it was like, nah, it was just really for her edification
Say it
so
again.
that she could.
Just as he crescendos up to that, like yelling and then getting in her face and like leaning like that. Just the part that really was really cool for me is when he yells and her hair's down and he yells so loud that her hair blows. I was like, that's a really
I noticed
That's
that too. I said,
intense, cool
damn, he
shot.
was acting his ass off.
Yeah, he was mad, and she did an amazing job too, just not moving, just letting him scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intense.
I was very into that moment because I was expecting something to happen and it was just a yelling match. So that was
Mhm.
yeah, that was good. That was good
And
on
then
both parts.
And the cool part too is like she wanted to break him to that point because after he yelled that, and she said, he's like, "Is that what you want to hear?" And she's like, no. but now we can talk, or something
Yeah.
like that. I forget the
Now we
exact
He said, "Is
he
that
language.
said he
enough?"
said it, is that
Is that
enough?
Yeah,
enough?
is that
Yeah.
enough? That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
see,
She's
this
like,
this goes into why I do not like the ending of this completely. Spoiler, but
Because yeah, I
but
get it. I see why
she
now.
even just now she says no, but we can have a discussion. That is a signal that like okay, I'm here with you. I'm your. That's a ride or die
right.
Yeah.
statement. So, and we'll get more into that, but I just want to, everybody hang on to
Especially
that note.
especially with
Um,
her dipshit brother.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so then the very next scene, it cuts into Bianca going to OC because she's like, "Hey, where you been?" Because he did get approached, and he did openly say, or they made it seem like he was like, "All right, I'll tell you who I was texting," which we still don't know who he was texting.
Right.
Yeah,
He
Mhm.
they
just
they kind of
disappeared.
outed him. They said, "Hey, look, we know you're messaging somebody in the United
Yeah,
States, but when we found your phone, when we looked through your phone, you deleted those
you deleted
messages."
those
So,
messages.
but they never went any
No,
further into
they
that.
never went any further. So they saving that for season two, obviously. But
Yeah.
then OC, so that happens or whatever, and she's confronting him while he's working out, and I just love that he told her, "Shut the up." Like
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, thank you, someone told her.
And then he went right back to hitting his heavy bag.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was like
like,
that dude was hitting it
he
too. I
was
was kind
hitting
of
it. Yeah, yeah.
surprised. I thought that fancy British man was like
Called
just
that's old man strength.
yeah, that dude was like yeah, he was hitting it. I was like, damn, this guy's killed some people before.
Yeah, he was going in. So I like that scene a lot. I like that one. Then and I'm scrolling through here to kind of have refreshers on everything. Um,
So the
so
brother is a major point that comes in
I
pretty
think
soon after
that's
that.
yeah. Kind of after that, that leads to Bianca being like, okay, well then I guess I'm going back to my family. She goes to tell them. So
Which is
I was
shitty.
yeah, because she knew
Yeah,
she. Well, it just shows more into her character that she's just manipulative as fuck. That's
yeah.
yeah, pretty much that's it. She's manipulative. Um,
Well, and the husband even calls her on it because he's like he says to
yep,
her he's like is no you're here because something's like you have a problem with your job, like that's the only reason why you're here. He's like I want you to like come here because you want to, not because you have a problem that you want to complain about your
exactly.
job.
And not trying to tell me that, oh yeah, I left the job, or no, the job pretty much was like, we're not giving you no more
Yeah,
leash, and you decided. Um,
yeah, you've already gotten 10 people killed.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, very, and they love to do it when there's like conflict with their household, with Bianca's household, and then Jackal's household. They do a quick cut, and what they
Hmm.
did at this moment is a quick cut into him telling his wife, "There's one more I have to do." Like I have, or not have to do. He's like, I have to finish this, pretty much.
Yeah,
Um, did she take
and
it
then he's
well,
out.
or
I
No.
think that she took it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah?
well is not how I would describe it, but yeah,
I
she
think
definitely
I
kind of
think it was
accepted it.
like it wasn't yeah, it wasn't bad because and that's the other thing about how much they're building her up that like she's still there. She's still there with him.
Mhm.
So, I
Yeah,
was
I mean, the
yeah,
fact that she took it is a win for him. Because I
yeah.
mean, if you really had to tell your wife, "Hey, I kill people for money," how much of a conversation is she gonna have with you after that?
Right. Well, see,
Yeah,
and for me, actions speak louder than words, right? So maybe she wasn't as vocal, but then her actions after it definitely spoke because the brother shows up and
yeah,
he's like, "I need I need help. I need blah blah blah." And she went and straight up honestly told him, she still they still like it feels like there was no separation in their bond from the way that they showed
yeah.
it.
She
Um
immediately runs to him for
yeah,
help, and she knows the kind of
exactly.
help that he would
Exactly.
give.
Exactly. She
And
knew it. Yeah.
that's yeah. So and for anybody who's watching this, they like so the brother shows up and is still after this restaurant deal with this Cuban gangster guy, and he's asking for more money. He's already taken the gun. He wants Charles to come, or the Jackal to come, to his business meeting, and the wife, Nuria or whatever her name is, Nuri, basically tells him like, you're an idiot. Why, like, why are you telling him about this stuff? And he kind of softly threatens around the edges, like, you know,
I know more.
I,
I could fuck up your life, but I know more.
yeah, I could just go ahead and do that. I know
Yeah.
you're married to this international murderer, but let me threaten you.
Yeah.
Well,
So
And I think
yeah,
she was mad too because like this is a known like gangster,
yeah,
and
but see, that's I like
he
that
didn't
scene
want
though.
doing she didn't want him getting into any, basically showing like she wants to be clean and everybody else is
Mhm.
getting into these dirty deals and stuff like that, and she
Yeah,
doesn't want anybody to do anything anymore.
yeah.
Did
She's
you
afraid for
notice
the
that when
family.
she was explaining who this guy was to him, that she was like, he's a very dangerous man or whatever, and he kind of like smirked. He was like, really,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like,
yeah.
didn't I
real
just tell
dangerous,
you?
huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought
Yeah,
that too, and I told Anna. I looked over to Anna. I was like, he sees this as an opportunity, and my theory was that he's about to kill the brother. I don't know if he's gonna kill the gangster dude, but I'm like,
yeah.
it's about to be a shootout or something, and he's gonna take it. He's gonna make him collateral damage. But did that
Turns out
happen?
no.
No,
I
did
think
not.
I thought
Yeah,
they should have had the brother get killed by the Colombian's hand, and then he kills the Colombian. Now she's
Eh,
on his side. Now
yeah.
exactly.
she's happy that he's killing people.
Yeah.
Right. That would have maybe flowed a little bit better, but this was a little confusing.
Yep.
But we'll get to that, I
Yep.
guess.
Before we get into that specific moment, we're taken back to UDC's timeline, and he's being confronted by the board, and the board is literally saying, "Hey, if you release this, we all will leave." And he's like, "Okay,
Bye.
bye." Uh,
He's straight
did
up just Clint
Yeah,
Eastwood's them. He's just like,
yeah,
go ahead and leave if you gotta.
yeah, go on and
yeah. I'm doing
walk
this
on
no
out of
matter
here.
what you guys say. Like
Mhm.
this is what I've dedicated my life to almost. That's what
Yep.
he's
The
kind of
look
saying.
the look of angst on that woman's face after she's like we're serious, like I have their backing, and he's just like, I don't care, and she's just like
Imagine owning 51% of something that large and they can't tell you what to do. That would be so
That
yeah,
funny.
1%, that one powerful percent, man.
That's all that
yeah.
counts. That's all that
Oh
matters.
Not to
man,
not to mention he's
Yeah, that
like
one
he's
percent
the
will get you
genius behind
dead.
it all.
yeah, it will. Um, so so yeah, so then we go into the Jackal is meeting up with a fisherman, and he's getting him to take him out on the water, and what he's pretty much practicing for his
Yeah,
final shot, which we'll get into, but he uses this so pretty
The first boat is just it's a buddy letting him borrow his boat, right?
yeah,
okay, that's
Because
what
I
it
think
was.
he's
He
on the
was
boat by
borrowing a boat.
himself the
Yes,
first
you're
time.
right, you're right.
yeah.
So he
He
was
says he's
borrowing the
gonna go
boat
fishing
and tuck it
or
out,
whatever.
and we see the conversation with that's a pretty intense conversation. It's probably the most generic mobster to punk conversation of, hey, where's this meeting at? You promised me money. And he's sitting there just as beautiful. I'm looking at it right now, beautiful frame. He's sitting, got some columns out the window. He's just taking in the ocean
Yeah,
breeze, untouchable mobster. And then bloop, just like that, bullet comes in
pops him
and
right to the back of the
right
head
to the
and
back
just
of the head. He
Like
wasn't
no sound, he just hits the table.
just hits the
yep,
table.
with the
Screams start
waitress
happening.
right there.
Yeah, start screaming. Was he a known actor or anything? I'm looking at him now. The mobster. Did y'all know him from anything?
I didn't
He might
recognize
be
him.
from
I
some
didn't
European
recognize him.
films, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
he fit the look and everything. I mean,
Mhm. No, he was
yeah.
good. He was interesting.
He
I
probably
would have
could
I would have
be
watched more of him.
Oh, Trey, I'm
Ah,
watching this back
Spanish
right now.
actor
Check
or
this. I'm
something.
watching this back right now. The scene.
yeah.
The waiter, he's telling him he's telling him that his how he got his money in international finance. The
Right, that's what he was saying.
waiter comes over into the frame and is pouring a glass of water, and all of a sudden he just goes, "Duh," just
Yeah,
falls forward.
and they don't even know that he's
Oh,
because
he's pouring him wine. That's not water. But
yeah,
either
he's
way, he's
pouring him
dead
wine,
now.
and the
Yeah.
the brother is like, "Hey, you okay?" And he starts bleeding, and he's like, "Oh," and he like starts
That,
wiping the blood off of himself. He doesn't even
and
really
what's
react. The
interesting
brother doesn't even
that
really
lets you know that he didn't think that Charles was going to help him that way.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
think he really told
I
Charles
I
Well, that
don't
how he
wasn't
needed
technically
help,
helping him
but
either.
Well, you got to
Charles,
remember, I don't think he knew what type of. He knew that he. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a surprise to him that he's like, oh, he can snipe like this because he knew he had pistols and stuff, right?
Yeah,
What do y'all
but
think?
didn't he think?
Yeah, but I don't think
Didn't
he
he
actually
already
knew
think
what he
he's the
did.
Jackal?
Oh, okay, true, true.
he didn't
Only
know
thing he
for a
saw was
fact
that
what he
picture
did.
that resembled
There's
him,
true.
and he had an assumption. The only person that knows at this point is his wife.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I mean, that's a wake up call. I don't know how you all react, but it would be like, and like Anna says, like, all right, so
What do
now
you mean?
Well, like now it's like, all right, let me just go and say, all right, can I just get money from you? I'll shut up. I don't want to use.
No, after that, bro, I'm out the game. Dude just got killed in front of me. I'm going to work at Kroger. I'm
He said
done,
I work at
bro.
Kroger.
Yo,
Uh,
that the gangster life is not for you if you can't
well, no,
take
yeah,
something like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
bro.
no, 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 definitely not the gangster life, but just the fact that he's like trying to like make money, and it's like, dude, you see how much money he has just in a drawer, just
He's
just
not
get it.
willing to. He's
For
not
him
what
to
go
for him
get
to be
it. He'll be
quiet.
on his ass. You gonna steal from somebody that she just shot somebody from 2 miles away?
Oh, very true, very true. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
the brother's still out
Kroger.
there, so we'll see what happens with the brother in season 2. Um, but yeah, so pretty much that was his practice shot
I
on a
don't
boat.
think the brother's out there anymore.
So I
We'll
mean,
talk
you
about
know,
that
but
here in a minute.
yeah, because I mean, there was one thing about that too. It's like I understood the
Oh
practice shot
shit,
and it
I
was
did
pretty cool.
forget,
Damn, Trey.
Corey.
Yeah,
Damn, I did forget.
yeah.
I forgot about that. All right, yeah. So moving right along, Jake, what were you saying?
I was just
Sorry to
saying,
have you distracted.
yeah. So I mean, I thinking about this because I think this starts to become relevant once we get into 10, especially. But the Jackal, I don't know if he's thinking this through, man, because it's like the brother's kind of a loose cannon at this point. You know, he knows he's a screw up. He murders like a well-known figure in front of a bunch of people that can attest, like, no, this dude was sniped in the back of the head. That like we have no idea where the shot came from. They can piece together that it came from like a long way away pretty easily, like as we see from the cops say later on. You know, like it. I mean, that article comes out like that. Like
Yeah, it
they already
did.
have that
She was
article in the
checking it
paper.
out. Yeah.
The person who is closest to the gangster at the time is his brother-in-law. So it's like whether he thinks anybody can trace who he is or not, like you're drawing undue attention to your family just by killing him in that moment with the brother-in-law sitting there. When even if they just question it, even if the brother-in-law didn't know anything and they question him, they're like, "What were you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, I was in a business meeting." And they're like, "Oh, okay. What was happening?" Well, my brother-in-law was supposed to come meet me at this business meeting, and then he didn't. This guy got shot in the back of the head.
Right, right. And well,
Like,
he didn't because I
yeah.
think that was his warning shot that like, hey, very easily this could be you.
Yeah,
I got a
and I
different
hear you,
take.
but it's just it's like from like an outward perspective because you know the police are going to get involved. You know,
Yeah.
like you're being tracked internationally by MI6 and other stuff. So I don't know. It was just a very high
Well, it's like
visibility.
I
I'll put into this and I'll let you go, Corey. It's like playing GTA. Once you got those 5 stars, I mean,
It don't really
Um,
matter.
it don't matter
do
no
what you
more.
want. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you. Don't matter.
yeah.
But go
I
ahead,
don't know.
Corey.
That's just really
my
close to
take
home, though.
my
Yeah,
take
it was.
is we keep seeing the Jackal is so dedicated to doing this one job. He
Mhm.
needs to get UDC killed. That's what he wanted to do.
10
That's what
mil.
he's doing. So think about this. He already bought the gimbal and all this stuff for UDC. He didn't
Mhm.
buy it to kill this gangster.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
he's
What he's doing is he's testing his equipment and he doesn't give a shit about the gangster
Yep.
or
I
anything
know that.
or
No.
what
I'm
happens.
just saying it's
for
sloppy
that.
from like his like, and I know he was rushed because it's like he has to be like in the other place in like 24 hours, and he's like all right, let me go kill this guy real quick. But
You
I
know
thought about
what?
something.
You know what? Yeah, go on, Chris, and then I'm going
Maybe
right after you.
and maybe he
I got
just
some.
thinks that because he's a contracted killer and this guy is a gangster, he might have a hit out on him anyway. It may not, you know what I'm
Oh,
he
saying? Like
probably
maybe
does.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
might
that
have been
too.
on somebody else's hit list.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
not even
he
getting any
probably
money for
does.
that
But
kill.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but
even
yeah,
still, like
I
if he
agree with
was to
you.
hit his shot that far, MI6 would have to. I mean, they would have to piece it together that it came from him, which they did. But the only thing that signaled him to them was like, "Are you in?" Remember when they said, "Are you in Spain?" They said, "Because we're pretty sure your guy's there." That was the
Yeah.
Hey,
thing
yeah,
that led
but
her
think
to
about
find out that murder. She was like,
Only only her specifically because she had
yeah,
a thing for this whole case. But like
yeah. No
generally,
one
I
else was
agree with
really paying
Chris. Like
attention. But
it
yeah,
could have been anybody that did it. It could
doesn't
have been
that
an
yeah,
upset mom. You know.
doesn't that move MI6 though? Think about this. It's a distraction as well. They're like, oh, he's in Spain. He just killed somebody in Spain, but then he goes to Croatia
Exactly.
and he kills UDC in Croatia. This with the thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like he
hmm
he was using it as a like, hey, you don't have to worry as much
Yeah.
because he's here.
Well,
He's not there.
I figured it out. All right, and this is undoubtedly it. So the producers of the Day of the Jackal heard me when I said episode 1 was completely stupid with the way he cited his shot. So they decided to do it more logical and he was using that to sight his weapon because he shot at the rock, got it right.
Yeah,
Then he
Yeah.
shot the
yeah.
guy. It's like, all right, now my weapon's good. I can take it to UDC and use it.
No.
See, they
He,
listened
no, no,
to me.
no.
They listened to
No.
me.
He did that at UDC.
Oh,
He
it was
shot the
that.
rock
Did
at
I mix it
UDC.
up?
He
Yeah.
did. Well, he also did it while he
They
was
did
there.
at
He
both.
sighted the weapon again. Yeah,
They
which
think
is fair.
they ain't. Never mind. Y'all ain't listening to me. Obviously, you don't sight your shot at the
Well,
place.
no, no, no,
at
no.
the mission.
Yeah, at the mission.
He's just saying both things are true. So I mean, it's like you are correct. He was sighting a shot just like he did with the melon and the rock before and all
Yeah.
that. So he did use it. Like I think we're all in agreement that that was like a test of his weapon because he even says afterwards he said something like Norman, you are an artist or something like that.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, man,
So
R.I.P.
yeah.
So
So I mean, it's
we go
you know,
into the
What scene are
final
we on?
scene. Final scene.
Okay.
Boat. So he's renting the boat.
All right.
So renting the boat. We're now getting to the climax and conclusion of everything this season is about. And I'll be honest with y'all. Spoiler alert: I did not think that UDC would get killed. And we're going to talk
Wait.
about how all this. Yeah, we're going to
I
talk
think
about
you're
how
right.
all this transpired, and everybody's going to jump in. But spoiler alert: this is what it's leading up to. Yeah, go on, Chris.
So yeah, when he gets on the boat, like we see that he is like building rapport with the guy who's driving the boat,
he's
and
trying
he's like,
to.
yeah, I'm out here to watch birds. He's like, hey man, I don't really give a shit what you're doing. You just asked me to drive you somewhere. I'm gonna drive you somewhere. And he was like, well, I remembered this whole story for no reason. I guess I'll just get in.
Yeah, exactly. It was like,
yeah, because he made
He
a
looked
face
so
almost like
defeated.
that. He was just like, oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So he gets in, and I guess they get to the targeted. Well, they were going to a target area, and then on the way there, he says, "Hey, I think I see something. Can you stop right here?" So he stops.
yep.
It was the last stop that poor man would ever make.
Do you
Yeah.
remember
Because
how far out it was?
I remember looking at his meter. Was it four? Was it
Well, not
3,600?
well, not even at the. I don't know that one, so you might be.
Because they had
You're
a
probably
2 mile
right,
perimeter.
but two
They had a
mile. They
yeah.
the
So he was
security
past that.
team said, "Oh, we see a boat. It's 2 miles out," and they were like,
Yeah.
Oh,
all right, well,
yeah.
we'll check it out and just
Yeah.
see." So they sent that one.
Jet
Yeah, they
ski.
sent that one drone and never moved it any closer to.
No,
to
not the
actually
drone. The
take a
guy
look.
jet ski.
The jet
Jet
ski.
Oh,
ski.
the
sent the
jet
drone
ski
out
comes
before the
later
jet
though.
ski.
Yeah,
Well, it was on the way. It was just moving.
yeah.
But-
But can we talk about how we are remembered? I'm sorry, how we are reminded that he is still a murderer.
Oh,
He didn't have to kill that
he
poor
didn't.
guy, man.
Yeah, he's
Did
still
he
a
not
murderer.
have to? Yeah, I guess
I mean, he literally could have tied him up and said, "Look, man, I'm
Yeah.
here to kill this dude. If you say, I mean, I'm gonna kill
Yeah.
you later. I'm not
You
gonna
know
kill you
why
right
he
now.
left
I'll
him?
kill you
You know
more
why he
humanely
left
later."
him though? He left him there for that reason because they saw that he was still sitting in the captain's chair. His neck was cut, but he left him in the captain's
Yeah,
chair.
that is true.
So
Yeah, for
if
sure.
they saw him tied up, then they would have been
That's
like,
right,
okay,
because
guess, yeah.
they knew the boat and they knew the guy. They said, "Oh, he never
they
stops
knew
there
who
to
the guy
go
was.
He never
They're-
comes out this far.
to go
Yeah.
fishing."
By the
Yeah.
way, every boat has a like a CB radio, like a like
Yep.
a naval CB basically.
yeah.
Like if you know who this guy is,
You could radio out.
you didn't radio him. You didn't do anything. No, you guys didn't move that drone just a few feet closer. You didn't.
But-
you didn't like.
But
see
like
where
Chris
the-
said,
No.
this isn't
Okay.
America, whatever. But like, I ain't gotta answer. I ain't gotta say nothing back.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
man,
but if they
shoot.
know the guy, I bet that because they know him by name, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that they know like if you and the other thing is too is like if you see a guy sitting in his chair in his captain's chair and you radio him and he doesn't even fucking move a muscle,
Yep.
like you're like this feels weird.
Well,
Who's this other
the
guy
thing,
with him?
So then he pulls out his case and he starts setting up his what is a steady cam for people that don't know. A
Yeah.
steady cam is a gimbal for very heavy cinema cameras. You put a cinema camera on it, it balances off, it takes the weight off your arms, and it puts literally you could take a 50 to 60 pound equipment, put on this thing, and just stand there, and it'll just balance because it just equilibrium or stuff. So it's pretty crazy. But he used it in this instance, I believe, to kind of balance out the waves that were hitting. So this one was a little bit more intense um, because he also had a balance meter on whatever site he had. And so it told him once it was back level, that he was sighted. So it was pretty. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
very
is
very
that
high
what that
tech.
red dot and green dot thing was? Because
Yeah,
Yeah.
was kind of confused on that.
yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
much telling him his horizon was level.
Yeah, I mean, because if you consider like over the course of, and I don't know the math off the top of my head or whatever, but like if you're taking a sniper shot at 2 miles or over 2 miles, like a gust of wind, like one little rock of the boat, like it's like you're gonna be off. You're gonna be off by so
By a
much.
lot.
By a
By
lot.
a lot.
By a ton. Yeah.
So it's about to happen. The UDC jumps into the water with his person beside. I don't know what this person's job was, but it was someone swimming with him.
His personal swimming bodyguard.
Yeah, and then there was jet ski and a drone, of course,
Yeah.
with them, and you all keep me on
Oh,
track. Yeah,
wait. We forgot about something. The morning that this happened, his partner and him were in bed, and he was like, "Man, I don't even want to do this shit today." And his
Yeah.
partner said, "No, you have to get out of bed. You have to go for your swim. If you do
You have to-
anything
you have
different,
to
shit
do it.
goes wrong."
Mm-hmm.
I
Gotta
did
go
not
do it.
catch that.
He talked him into the swim. He wasn't
Yeah.
going to go swimming. He talked him
Yeah.
into it.
He
I didn't
almost never
catch
went
that,
out.
and so that goes into the B roll that I caught while this was happening. Then, okay, yeah,
I
Yeah.
didn't catch that
he's
till the second time I watched it.
yeah, he's
I
shady.
remember that one. That one
He's
was
shady. He's shady. Something's up.
He
All right.
he talks him into the swim, and then on top of that, like when UDC comes out to go for a swim, he's got like dudes with like bulletproof shields in front of him. He's got like his whole contingent around him, and then after that, you got your
Yeah.
one guy swimming next to you. Go in the water. But I guess that would be a very hard shot for anybody to make.
Yeah. Well, we're
To be
gonna see if
fair.
we can wrap this up in 5 minutes because we still got the episode 10 to talk about in 20
Yeah.
minutes. So let's see. All right, so keep me on track, guys. But he's getting sighted and everything, and the drone is coming, and a guy on the jet ski. He takes out the guy on the jet ski first, right?
Yep.
Yes.
He decides to do that.
There's a reason
Uh,
why, and I thought about this. I'm assuming it's because the guy on the jet ski was so far out that if he was to hit him, the jet ski would still go straight long enough to where the people watching on binoculars would be like, "Oh, it would take a minute for that to go off course like it did."
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he took out the drone. Bam. Now they only
he
got
jammed
manual.
the drone. Yeah.
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 Okay, so yeah, okay, that can make sense. I can get that. I wasn't sure, yeah, but I can see that. So then he does that, and
Mhm.
he takes a first shot, and or does he take a shot and miss at UDC at this point, or are they just
So
already
he
freaking out?
so they start freaking out, and his bodyguard shoves him underwater.
Yeah, they tell him to go
And-
underwater. The head
Yeah.
of security says go under, go under. So him
Yeah.
and the bodyguard go underwater together.
Yeah, and so the Jackal starts counting because he's like basically counting his breath essentially,
Yep.
and he times this out so that by the time both of those dudes are popping up out of the water, his shot is hitting, but he hits the bodyguard.
Well,
So the
it's
bodyguard
coming.
hit-
The UDC comes up, and he fires the shot, and you're like, oh shit, here it comes. But then the bodyguard pops up and takes it for him,
Mhm.
not unwillingly.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly.
And then,
Which, by the way, so there was a jet ski that was right next to them at the time.
yeah.
Like there was the bodyguard and there was a jet ski that was following them. Was that the jet ski that left to go out to?
No, it was a different one.
No,
it was
that
a
was
close.
just
It was a
Trey's
close
one.
one.
Because that jet ski
Could have done
disappeared.
something.
And he could have
Oh.
just, if you park that jet ski in front of that dude or throw him on it and just start going, like done, like you saved
Yeah,
your boss.
done.
Like,
Yeah.
where did that guy go? That guy was like, hell, no, I'm not getting shot.
Yeah, he never got hit.
You could
and
just
the-
park that jet ski in front of him and like just popped in the water and been
Very-
like, I know where
very
the shot's
easily.
coming from.
Yeah. So then UDC says, "Shit, I'm not trying to die today." He went under and he held his breath pretty long. I thought he was about to get away.
Yeah.
He swam over. He was getting close to the rocks and everything. And you all can help me kind of figure this out. But our Jackal takes the shot before he even pops up,
Yeah,
and he
that's
goes,
crazy.
and he even says it. Oh, there you are.
There you are.
And then douche.
Yeah,
he
I'm
takes
was
assuming he
counting-
did that.
Yeah.
Did you notice the first time that he popped up, he counted how long he was up for and he went back under? So he knew how long the bullet travel would be. When he knew he was
Yeah.
going to come up, he knew he'd only have a split second. So he shot so the bullet could travel. He pop up,
Yeah.
hit him, and back down.
It's crazy.
He knew how long
It
the
is
bullet was going
crazy.
to travel, and he was counting how long he was underwater. Because even while he was underwater the first time, he was counting, and he waited for he could see the bubbles like for the breach, and so he fired when it was starting to bubble. So basically, he was looking for like when he was starting to breathe out and come closer to the surface, and that's when he knew, like, okay, you can hold your breath for this long. So he was like counting.
So I want to point out, and this is with me not knowing that you all said he made that statement in bed. This whole time it was going on, the guy with the red cap was hiding, but he was almost hiding as if he didn't want to not miss it. Like
Yeah.
they kept showing him where like he was hiding, but he was also peering over like the edge and stuff like that. And I was like, that's kind of weird.
I think I know why that was, and I think it was confirmed in episode 10.
Okay, so we'll talk about episode 10 because
Yeah.
we're ending this one. So pretty much the last frame that we get is the boat is going off to the sunset, and there's three jet skis chasing them. Now, when I'm looking at this, he probably has about a mile in between. It doesn't look like it, but it's probably about a mile from where he's taking off, and they're trying to come after him. They're pretty far
Oh yeah,
behind.
when I saw that scene, I said, "There's no way they're catching him."
No,
No, they're not. Yeah,
And
there's
that
no
boat
way.
had what, 3 engines? Like
At
that
least.
has a lot of horsepower on that boat. There wasn't
Yeah.
a way they killed him.
y'all know boats better than me, man. I can't swim.
That's why you got a boat.
Yeah, true. And that wraps up episode 9. And we got 15 minutes for
round.
the hour, so we'll see how we get through this one. But it's game time, so let's get into the
Anna.
next. Yep, let's get into the next game,
Oh,
and
boy.
this one is gonna be emojis. I don't think this one's that hard, but we'll see. All right, let me share the screen. Oh, whoops. Let me pause that too, actually. Oh, there it is. All right. Let's get it going.
Just so, and just for my own knowledge, because I was like, how long does it take to get from Spain to Croatia? About 2 hours 45 minutes. It's not that bad.
But was
What-
he trying to
it's
catch
just
a
like-
flight? I think he caught a flight there. But
Yeah, that's
maybe
what I meant.
Drove the boat.
Yeah.
back.
Either way, when
Yeah.
you're in Europe, going from country to country is like state to state here. It's so
yeah,
much fun.
No, it's yeah, it's pretty quick. But
Yeah, it
I was
is,
like,
and it's intense. From where when we went overseas, I was because their police is their military in most places, and so like their customs and all that, it was just more intense than what I
I'm
was.
surprised he never traveled by train.
True.
yeah,
All right, so getting into this game, this is the emoji game. Guess the movie. If you have it, just shout it out. Comment
Okay.
it in the comments. Here goes the first one.
Oh
Batman
man, I
Dark
wonder
Knight.
what this is.
Batman.
Nope. That's not it.
No, somebody said it right.
Batman
was seeing
Dark
what
Knight.
Yep, Batman Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, he said
It could have been any Batman, but it's like the Dark
Oh, is this
Knight.
first to get? Is this
Yeah.
first to say it?
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Corey
Corey,
got
that's
his
your
point.
one, buddy.
All right, you ready? Here we go.
Angry car mechanic. So this would be the mechanic. No,
No, it's
would-
not the mechanic. That is, I like that. I like Jason Statham. We might have to do some Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh,
No, I would say this
don't
is
know.
probably a movie that Corey really enjoys too. I think
Oh,
you
shit.
talked about it.
hmm.
I guess
Ford
I'll give you.
versus Ferrari.
I think there's two. There was a remake, not a remake. There was a sequel very recently.
Angry car.
Was that a remake?
A sequel.
A sequel? Yeah, I think it was a sequel. I don't know. I didn't really. I'm not into the series or the of it, but all right. So let me give y'all a hint. What is this? What does this represent to you all?
Mad.
Angry,
Mad.
mad,
Mad.
Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Oh, Jake with the sneak.
That was close. I think we almost said it.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
I can't believe I was like angry the entire time.
Yeah,
I was thinking
Yeah,
Angry
like,
too. I was thinking,
Angry?
the Angry Birds have a movie?
They do actually.
They do,
yeah.
and it's I just watched it with Lenore actually. The TV show though. All right, last one.
Got that.
Girl with the
Mulan.
dragon tattoo.
The girl. Oh my
Corey.
gosh! Son of a
Corey.
bitch.
The tattoo thing at the end. Yeah,
That's what I was.
Yeah.
I read it backwards. I was thinking Tattoo Dragon Girl. Good job,
Yeah.
Corey.
Yep, Corey with
Good
the little
job,
comeback.
Corey, taking it.
Yeah.
Hey, who's
All
that
right.
emoji of?
I don't know. I just searched girl.
Mhm.
Eh.
Yeah. Let me make sure. Okay, so that's the O ones. That's log line. So the last game, I'll tell y'all after we do this.
So Corey won
it's
that one.
different. Corey won that one
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
Good
Corey
job,
won that
Corey.
one
Yeah. All right, so let me go on and stop sharing
handily.
there.
Handily.
All right, and now thank you for staying back with, continue to stay with us as we go through it. But we're going to talk about and wrap this up with episode 10. Um, I completely enjoyed episode 9. It did surprise me that one UDC died and that he
Yeah.
died in episode 9. I figured that would be like the very last thing. But
Right.
if you remember, someone else still needs to die. Just saying.
Yeah, I still,
Yeah.
and it's funny too because I still thought coming out of 9, like before he killed him, I was like, okay. I was like, they keep kind of throwing conveniences in his way. Like the boat goes by as he's trying to shoot him. I was like, he accidentally shoots the security guard. I was like, he's gonna get away. I was like, because they got to keep this guy alive because he's technically a good guy.
Yeah.
But nope.
As I'm pausing
I
through
still-
this and getting refreshers on us to keep us on track, I mean, the cinematography was. I give the cinematography a 10 out of this whole series. For
It was
real.
very
I,
good.
I couldn't
Yeah.
find nothing. It was good.
A lot of cool
Um,
drone shots and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was just.
I was
good. It
upset
was
I had to
good.
watch that one on my phone, but
Hey, I have a question from just real quick. Why does he always limit himself to a certain amount of bullets? Why doesn't he just take more
That's true.
bullets?
Yeah, I wanted to say something about the boat action because what he had like 3, I think. With
He took
it was
4 or
like
5.
4. Yeah, he didn't
He
take
had 4 in
much.
his thing, and I think he had 1 in the chamber.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
I'm
he
pretty
used
sure
one
it's-
against the wall to test it, and then he.
And to stay back on that, and I meant to say this too. He was so calm where he had to like reload and everything. There was no panic, like
Mhm.
barely. You know, he was just like, "Oh, okay, let me load that
Well, he's got a
in."
2-mile space between him and his enemies. He knows they can't make a shot on him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's true. No
Yeah,
one's.
but he
We
was
got to
up
see.
against a ticking clock, that's for sure. Like, and if you're down to your last bullet, you'd probably be breathing a little bit
So it does
heavier,
make
but
you
not
wonder.
him.
It's like, how does he do when he's getting shot at? Which you will find out in episode 10, actually. So, all right. So yeah, we go into episode 10, and it is pretty much a getaway chase scene. But it does start off with the wife trying to call him. He's not picking up, obviously. And it kind of shows. That's where you kind of start to see where she's like acting like, "Oh, what is he up to?" And I start to feel like that was just off. Like you know what he's up to.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
know what he's doing. He told you. He said he had to go finish a job. Like he's right in the middle of it right now.
Yeah. So he's driving. He hits a traffic stop, and they're like, "Hey, we need to check out your car." And that's where he decides to
Fucking
turn
guns.
into
Yeah.
the greatest driver in the world.
Pretty cool.
Italian
pretty cool
job.
car scene.
Italian
Yeah.
job. Yeah, I mean, the whole spike scene. So he's driving,
Oh
spikes
my!
get thrown out. He does pretty much
Like a
a
180.
donut, a 180 donut,
Yeah.
and just jukes it out. That was dope. That was
Only
cool.
person
Yeah.
that hit it was the cops.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
cops
he's
behind
just
him
using that
hits it.
handbrake the entire time, just
Yeah.
whipping it like with that handbrake over and over again.
Yep. So he's getting chased. He gets a motorcycle off of him, gets the cops off of him, and
You know something that I noticed in this scene that
Yeah.
never happens in other chase scenes? You never see pedestrians get hurt. This time you saw a pedestrian get hurt.
yeah,
Mm.
The person
Yep.
on the bike actually got hurt. You see
He
people in
did,
the
yeah.
background helping them up.
yeah. And speaking of pedestrians, how this chase kind of ends is somebody's kid was running out to get their football, and he had to swerve and miss him, and he rode, and that was the end of the chase scene. It was wrecked. Somebody came to help him out, and it's kind of back to one of those things where it's like, all right, this is just like the what Chris was talking about. It's just like the fisherman thing. Didn't have to kill the fisherman. Just like with this guy that's coming to help him get out the car. He
Yeah.
didn't kill him, and he
He
could
didn't kill
have.
him. He thought about it.
He did think
'cause
about
he
it.
was about to, and then he got distracted for a second with the what happened? There was the car start to flame up or something like that, and he got.
Oh, the
distracted
car
for a
did
second.
start to flame
Yeah.
up. Yeah, yeah.
And
it
so
did.
and then he decides in that moment not to kill the guy,
Yep.
which
Well, I think
ended
it's
up fine.
situational. I think he kills people situational. Like I said, he only killed the fisherman because he knew that he needed to leave him looking like he was alive. And if
Yeah.
he left him alive, he might have like
Sure.
tried to intervene with the shot or
Yeah.
Yeah, he was-
alert the authorities and stuff like that. So
He was definitely about to kill that guy because remember when he came up, he said, "I've already called the police. I'm about to call the ambulance."
Yeah,
He was
that's
definitely
true.
about to get
Yeah.
killed.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he had
that's true.
he had the rifle, but he and I think the real reason he killed that fisherman, Chris already said, bro, just listen to his stories, just be nice. Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna kill you.
I mean, and on that note, could you imagine the night before you're like, all right, I need to remember all these details about this
All these
bird and how I'm
lines.
gonna, and then the person just like, nah, I don't want to hear you. You're like, man, I wasted all my night. I could have
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
slept.
gonna get your ass later.
Yeah.
uh,
It's like,
so anyway, do y'all remember who made the
love these
announcement that
birds.
River was not going to be announced?
Yeah, the partner.
His partner stepped up and made. And what did he
All right.
ask him? He said, if anything happens to me, you have to
You have to
send
make
it
sure
This
it
is
forward.
why,
launches, and he
Trey.
said he
This is
couldn't do
why I
it.
said I think that this is what
Yeah.
I was talking about earlier. So why he wanted to watch it, I think, but he didn't want to miss it. I think he was afraid of those people also putting a hit on him. I think he was in bed with those people, and I mean, if they're willing to kill the dude in charge, why not take out the second guy too? I mean, I'd be
Yeah.
afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he
No,
does
that makes
try
sense.
to. Yeah, he does kind of try to also push him in that direction of like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah,
Or, so hold on. Okay. Who did he interact with both times his life was on the line? It was the partner as he's going
yeah,
up to give the speech, and that failed hit. So that's a something to remember. And then, oh, you should go swimming, and he does die. So, yeah, I mean, all signs are pointing toward him being a little sus for
yeah,
sure.
no doubt.
But I
Okay.
think I know what's gonna happen with that. I
So
think he's still
then,
going to release it anyway. I think the beginning of the next season, I think he's throwing the elites throwing them off by saying, "Yeah, we're not going to release it." Beginning of the next season, bam, he actually released it.
or be tricking us too, where like, oh, we're playing the same game on the viewers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's
Okay.
just going to happen.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. So then, we're back into MI6, and Bianca is just kind of like, well, uh, that still happened or whatever. Or no, they're telling her, no, we want you to go. Um, no, I'm confused.
so
No,
she
so
she
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 got so her
resigns.
boss got approached by somebody else, and they said,
The
"Yeah, we let Bianca go." He said, "No, get her back in here, tell her to
That
find the
is what
jackal, then
happened.
we'll take
Yeah.
care of the jackal."
This
I
is
just,
where
So
we kind of really
I,
find out that she is the mole. Like
Yeah,
that's more or less.
right,
Like
right. I
it
just couldn't
truly
remember
confirms
if
it.
Bianca was. So she was rogue up until this point. Then. So
Bianca wasn't
all.
rogue.
no,
She was just saying ready to go for the jackal, and her boss said, "No, we're just gonna call it. We're done.
no.
We're
yeah,
So
not
what?
doing it anymore."
No, she quit in
She
episode
quit
nine.
in
yeah,
Remember, they
episode
gave her an
9. Yeah.
ultimatum.
she
She said,
quit.
"Fuck you, I quit."
Oh
She
yeah,
went back to
I
her
missed
family.
that. Sorry.
Then the lady
Yeah,
comes back and says, "We'll give you the freedom to do whatever you want off the
Exactly.
books."
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And,
the guy
and
who approached her
what
was
was her
the
response
cabinet.
though? What was her
At
response?
first, I think she said no.
Yeah,
She
she
said no
Yeah,
said
at
she
no.
said
first.
no.
And you thought that maybe she had some brain cells, but apparently not. Um, because like that was a red flag. Obvious. Oh yeah, we just want you to get back on, and you should go after him. And she
Hmm.
saw that the secretary was of the state or whatever was up in there. So
Yeah, he's
yeah,
the
It goes
commerce
back to
minister or whatever. Yeah,
what we talked about probably in the first episode, where she's so dedicated to her job
she's
that she
blind.
puts it
Yeah.
before her family.
yeah,
She had her family. She could have just said, "No, I'm not doing this no more," and stayed with her family.
Yep.
But the job came back in play, and she made her decision.
Yep.
yeah.
Her
They
family was
played
tired of
to
that too. They were like, "Man, just fucking go if you're gonna go.
Yeah, they already knew.
Just
Yeah,
go. Like, we
her
don't
husband
want you to
yeah.
be
knew
here if you don't want to
what
be
decision
here."
she was gonna make.
Like we doing,
Um,
yeah. They played to
yeah.
her ego. So Isabel, played to her ego, and she's like, "No, I was wrong, and you were right, and I pulled some strings, and I got some more funding, and you know what? We got to go do this for the people that died,
Yeah.
and that's how she like kind of like got into her, really really got to her too, because she was
Yep.
like, this is for the people who died.
Yep. And we got a scene of interaction with the brother and the Jackal's wife. What's the Jackal's wife's name?
Nuri,
Nuri. Okay.
yeah, it's Nuri or Nuri or something
Nuri,
like that.
something like
I
that.
think
Okay.
I think it's Nuri.
Nuri, I think it is. I think it was right.
Yeah,
I think Nuri.
So they're having a conversation. He's getting out the. I guess she was getting him. Why was she at the police station when he was coming out? If he was
Just picking
just
him up because he
she was
got
just picking him
questioned
up.
about the the
Yeah,
shooting. I think.
right,
yeah.
but she had no intention. I guess I was just confused on that. She had no intentions on actually picking him up. So I didn't know if she bailed him
Well,
out.
I
Oh, she went
I
to go
mean,
get her brother. I think.
yeah, I think she just went to go get him, and then when he
And then
kind
they
of
had an
kept
argument.
pushing, yeah,
Sure.
he kind of kept pushing things and was like, "No, but really, like I," and he kind of threatens her again,
Yeah,
Like,
and outside the police station, she's like, "When are
Yeah.
you gonna stop being a screw up? I'm sick of
Yeah.
this."
yeah,
Yeah. So she pretty much
Yeah.
told him get out of her life, um,
yeah.
and he went on about
He,
his way for now.
he
Uh,
almost does. He also almost does.
yeah,
So many
almost does.
people, if they had only
Almost.
made a different decision, bye bye.
So yeah, we the Jackal when he's so that we're at the point where he's kind of just riding through the countryside. He has the truck that he stole, and he's
Nope.
at like
He's already with the old people at this point.
No, no.
no,
Well,
I'm
so
looking at
yeah,
well right before so right yeah you're right, but right before it when he ditches that truck, I just want to call this out. He has the truck. He's by he likes to blow up the vehicles. And he's about to put it in this ditch and do all that. Really, at this very moment, it probably would have been best that he didn't. Like they already got his DNA on stuff. Like why leave a trail on which way you're going and stuff? But also, he like screamed while he was pushing the truck and everything. I was like, why ain't he just behind the truck pushing it instead of
Better
doing it
yet, why didn't he put it in drive?
and drive? Yeah, I was like, there's so
yeah.
many
Just
easier ways
roll
to
out.
just or get it rolling and then throw the.
maybe
Maybe
the
it's a stick shift.
that's true. That's true. Well,
It probably was a stick shift. It's in
even
Europe. And
still
it's
neutral and push
a
it
lorry. Yeah.
from the back. But all right,
That's a very
anyway.
awkward scream, though. Yes.
Yeah, it was. I thought so too. I was like,
Closed mouth scream. Oh!
I think it
He
was.
just
I
kind
think
of
he was
letting
in
out
pain.
frustration,
He must have been
knowing
in
that
pain.
this was an unfortunate like
well, this look,
twist. Like he thought it was gonna be easier than this.
maybe
obviously.
maybe the writers are that good, and that was him concussed from the whole fall
Mm.
and everything. I don't
It's
know.
true. It's true.
But anyway, he
He's
puts on
struggling.
glasses. He becomes a well-groomed, uh, uh,
Like a
white,
professor or something.
a well-groomed white man in the
If
woods
you
that
notice-
just needed
if you
help.
notice, If
With
you
a
notice,
suitcase.
he brings his case because that's where
Yeah.
all his disguises are is in the case. So he
Yeah.
pulled the case out of the car before it blew up, and then
Yes,
took it
he
with
did.
him.
Yep.
So
Make
that's
sure he had
where all his disguises are.
true. He had the
By
case.
the way, listeners, a well-groomed white man in the woods who needs help, that's a red flag as a serial killer, by the way. Just so you know.
It is,
It's
but
just-
from
yeah.
what I have heard, I think a lot of people would rather choose the bear. But maybe not in this instance.
You should. You should.
But anyway, so he runs into the family, and like we're all kind of talking about this man coming out the woods, like he just needs help. The husband was like, I don't trust you.
Yeah,
But,
he was staring him down like he was like he knew
Yeah,
him.
he
or-
was kind of off
One
of that.
little
But
minor detail. You notice he pulls his wedding ring back out of his pocket and puts it
Mhm.
on at this point to make it seem like he's a more trustworthy person because
Yeah.
he talks about his wife and all that stuff.
Mhm.
oh yeah, very true. So we'll try to speed through this. I see our time's getting going, but let's see if we can get through it. And so then he's with the old people. He talks. He pretty much gets the older wife, the older lady, to be like, "Yeah, we'll help you. We'll get you to the hospital." So they're doing their thing. They're driving them in the RV, and during this whole drive or whatever, he does tell him, "Hey, I'm not gonna hurt you, but I have a gun on you. You need to take me a little bit further." During this whole drive and everything, they evade police and all that stuff. And he, I never thought he was going to hurt them. And I think it
Yeah.
was kind of made clear that he had no intentions on hurting them.
No,
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think he was gonna hurt
he even
them.
compares them one point to his own parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How true is that?
We don't know, but it could. I mean, think about it. It must have been because I really don't think he was going to hurt him. And he might have really, that might have been why. Maybe he
He-
saw his.
He trusted him enough.
I think they're lulling you
go
into a
to
false
sleep.
sense of security.
True,
Remember,
you're
he's
right.
still a killer. I'm
Cor-
not getting in the
Well,
RV.
Well,
with this
Chris
the,
is
dude.
the
like-
way he reacts
Fuck
after
that.
he does kill them, like he seems genuinely kind of like why the fuck did you guys do that?
Right,
Just
so-
stop.
So before we
Because
get
you
into
got him
that,
at gunpoint. What do you
Right.
mean? That's a natural reaction.
exactly. So before we get to that,
I don't
the
know.
the husband is like they're talking about. He's like, yeah, you all remind me of my parents, and he's like, well, they sound like good people. What happened to you? Or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think the husband is very clear that he's like, look, if I take care of this guy, I think he'll let us go.
Yeah.
They get back in the RV, and the wife decides, you know what? I think I can kill this guy. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for it. She stabs him.
Uniquely stabbing him
In the shoulder, in the,
In the
like shoulder
shoulder.
blade, like get him in the neck or
Mm.
something.
Right. Stabs
Yeah.
him in the shoulder. And he turns around. He's like, did you stab me?
He said,
He's
"What?
like, ow!" Like, what are you
He
doing?
literally said that.
He's like,
Yeah.
and like he was just so confused. Pulled it out and was just you could just see that he was just so disappointed. He's
Yeah,
just like,
and
fuck.
then
Fight
we saw some
ensues.
more old man strength.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he knew at that point he had to at least try to fight him.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
old
At that
man
point,
did.
you have to. I mean, now the fight's there.
yeah. So yeah, so he has to kill the
Yeah.
old people, unfortunately. Um, which is
So
like I think it says a lot when when it comes out of his own mouth. You all remind me of my family, and you could
mhm.
just see how he took it to after having to do that. I think that might have actually touched his soul that Chris doesn't believe he has. I think
Trey,
that
think
would.
about this. He's on the run at this point. Anybody that sees him is collab. They got to go.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
He's trying
Yeah,
to get
but
to the
I
border. Anybody that sees him has
yeah.
to go.
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I think he
Look,
wasn't
if you're
going to
living in
do
this
it.
life, you can't have emotions. You can't emotionally be attached to people that you don't know. These are
No,
people that you meet on the road. They got to
He was
go if you're trying to run.
he was going to let Rasmus live until Rasmus saw him at the very end and
Exactly.
like
He
had the
had to
thing.
go.
Yeah, but even before, like he was able to use him and not kill him, and then he didn't kill the driver from like the van that he stole or the truck that he stole.
yeah,
Like there's a lot of people who he doesn't,
yeah.
and then there are some that he does.
I
And
feel
again, I
like
think if that man had listened to his story, that boat captain would be alive right
I
now.
think I think the and this might have been how like the overall story was written. I think the only like really good detail and good attention they kept in the writing was the interaction with the old people because everything else just felt like it was like just winging it as they wrote it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even the
Because
part where he told the old people to drive away from the border check.
yeah,
Yeah, the
If I
checkpoint.
was a cop there, I'd be like, that one, that
exactly.
Yeah.
guy.
Like y'all did such a good job writing on how observant all sides were. Like it wasn't just easy for him. Like and what I was about to get into is
Mhm.
once he gets away from them, he's then on a bird seeing bus now traveling, and the lady that is like the representative of the bus gets off with everyone's passports. The cop looks at it and says, "Oh yeah, everyone's good." When like really he would have got on and walked through the bus.
Yeah.
Trey, I got a little. I think this is an Easter egg. Somebody look this up if you can. So in this show, when he was explaining his story to the guy, he was telling that oh, there's only two birds. There's only two left, like mating pairs in existence or something, right? Didn't he say that?
I don't know. I have to look.
Oh,
I'm
maybe he
almost
did.
100% sure he said that.
Yeah.
That line was also used by him in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Oh, hey.
Interesting.
Okay.
I
I'm
would
almost
never have
I've
100%
never
sure that
because
he
seen
never
said
that.
that.
seen Fantastic Beasts, so I would not have got that.
Pretty
So
sure he said
then
something about only a couple of mating pairs in existence or something.
So then he called the wife. He's on the way home, and he's coming home. He said, "I'm coming. We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna leave." Where he names off every place she wants to go, and she finally
Every place
buys
with
in.
no extradition, too.
Yes, and says, "You know what? We're gonna go." So she's like, "Okay." We start to once again. We're like, "All right." She's
But before she gets
that
too
ride or
far,
die.
she just says she just wants to stay home.
She
She
did
doesn't
say
want to
that.
go anywhere.
She did say, "I want to stay home,"
Turks
and
and
she put it together
Caicos.
that like, "Oh, we're not safe, are we?" Um, So the house is now being watched because MI6 two. I'm gonna still call them Rogue at this point. Yeah, they're not, but like they're alone. I'm gonna say Rogue is like lone wolves. We'll say lone wolves, and the partner is kind of like, all right, let's get in, let's take this guy out, and Bianca's like, no, we gotta take him alive, and the partner looks at her like, do you that like how are we gonna do that? Like that's not
How are we
happening.
gonna do that? There's only two of us.
Yeah. So yeah. So that starts happening, and so then we're
Yeah, they're
the
watching the house, and then they see the wife and kid leave the house, and they're like, "Hey, should we follow?" And she's like, "No." She's running from him because she's in a taxi. She was not taking her own car.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Hey, he's coming home. He's not. He's not gonna. That's not a lead to him.
and
He'll be here soon."
I did skip over a part that I want to touch on because Chris hit on it on the past part, but how they're MI6 and no one really cares to really work with them. They went to go into the police station, and the lady chief
Yeah, yeah.
was like, "I don't care who y'all are, what you want. We said it's closed."
Hmm.
I don't know if there's something deeper to that. That like, but yeah, she did. She wasn't really willing to give them a name and all that stuff.
Mm.
But what gave it away to them is she did tell them. She said, "Yeah, her husband, the brother-in-law, uh, wife, husband, and he's like a rich British person, and they're like,
Yes.
hmm,
So, like, what's his name? And then
yeah,
she
Yeah, they
says
knew they had their
Charles,
guy at
whatever.
that point. That's when they go stake
Yeah,
out the house.
yep, yep.
yeah,
So they're staking out the house, and in the other timeline, the Asian woman is also playing her own little cat and mouse because now they're trying to cut loose ends with her, and she's
yeah,
figured it out.
Yep.
yeah.
Um,
I think she figured it out the second she was like, all right, I want 25% more. And, they were like, yeah, sure. And she's like,
yeah, when it's just like,
okay,
yeah,
I'm
What
out of
are
here.
you? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
We'll give you whatever you want. Where you at right now?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Let's meet up. Yeah, what are you doing? What are you wearing? Are you
Share
going to
your
bed right now?
location.
It's
Yeah.
when the Facebook marketplace items just too good to be true.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that went down, and they decided to so she leaves. So the wife now leaves the house, and she's packing up everything. She's super sad because she can't get a hold of our Jackal. So she leaves with the kid, takes the airplane, all that stuff, the little toy airplane and everything,
And all the and a lot of money.
which I think is significant. I just want to say, yeah, takes some money and heads out. The Jackal's coming home. He's like, "Where's my wife and family?" He's like, "Crap." So he goes into his safe room and starts being like, "All right, well, I got to catch up to him." At least
That
that's what
safe
I'm
room was
taking.
dope.
That safe room was dope. At least,
Yeah.
and very smart. Built in the power to the house in there.
Hmm.
Had had its own standalone power, obviously. Yeah, smart safe room. I took
Yeah.
notes.
It's hidden behind the mirror and
Yeah, two-way mirror,
you know.
which we'll talk about here in a second. So he's in there. He knows that now. Oh no, Corey, you want to tell us how he knows someone's in the house?
What's that?
Brother messes it up. He
Oh, the
comes in
brother.
the house. The
Well,
next
Yeah,
thing you
yeah,
know, turns on the lights.
they're
Bow
actually already in the
bow.
yeah,
house. They're already in the
Yeah.
house when the brother comes in there. He's in the
Yeah.
safe room still, but the brother comes in there looking around, and then when he's brother's drunk, first off, trying to
yeah.
talk to his sister, didn't know his sister wasn't there, and then he runs into the two MI6 agents, realizes that they're not supposed to be there, tries to pull the gun out and shoots, and then he gets shot back.
Yeah, he got lit up.
Hey, who shot him?
I think both of them.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think it was the dude. It was the dude with the pistol.
It was the
their
dude.
buddy.
Yeah, it was the buddy. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because
him.
it was just one. He was like, pop, like he just dropped him basically, and of course, dummy brother even used the gun hand. You know, he was holding the gun in his hand, turned the light on with that, and then went to go shoot. It's like, how dumb are you, dude?
Yeah, he was an idiot. So the brother is now out of the series, and the Jackal is in
He's gonna
his.
be in Jackal too.
Yeah, he's not going to be in
Unceremoniously
Jackal too.
out of the
So,
series.
one, I want to say the night shots where they were climbing over and going in. I want to look up when we do some behind the scenes,
That was
maybe
cool on the roof.
the roof and everything.
Yeah.
It was so. I wonder if they used the tactic from the movie that just came out by Jordan Peele with the alien thing and the monkey and all that stuff. Anyway, that
Oh.
movie that was on the farm and all that
Nope.
stuff. Nope. Yeah, they shot that in the daytime, but they made it look like night. And I wonder if they did it here because it was just
Day
too.
for night.
Everything was still too just lit. So
Mhm.
it looked really cool. But anyway, they got into the house. They're coming after the Jackal, and this is kind of like one of the first times we start to see, or we get to see the Jackal being not the aggressor. Like he doesn't have the upper hand except for being on the elevated surface at some point. But
Home
um,
base.
yeah. So Bianca comes into the room. They're now staring at each other. She's looking into the mirror and reflecting on herself, and he's looking at her. What did y'all take from that? I thought it was
So
pretty dope.
I really like that because I know I've been one to talk about how they have a lot of comparisons between the two of them the entire series. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and this just like signif can't say the word signifies that because it shows them face to face, and at one point the camera comes to the Jackal's side, and like you can see the reflection of him and Bianca both together, and
Mhm.
both of them doing everything for their job before their families, both of them saying, "Hey, I got one last job to do, and then I'll come home." It's just like I thought that was a
Yeah.
really cool
And
shot.
the
Really
light
cool scene.
schematic basically opposing them. And of course the one thought that I had when I saw that shot, I was like, oh, Trey's gonna like this shot.
Yeah, no, I thought it was that was a good shot.
And at the
I
same
like
time,
that.
it's a two-way mirror. So obviously,
Yeah.
Jackal can see her, but Bianca can't see the Jackal. But if
She
you
can't
notice,
see. Yeah.
she looks over. It's his closet, right? So she looks over and sees his stuff, and then looks at the mirror and kind of just like, this is where he is. Like she almost like puts herself in his shoes there for a second and just like trying to
Yeah.
get into the mind of who she's trying to kill.
Well, visually from that too, like because he can see her and she can't see him, but she's staring at herself
Yep.
technically, and what she can't see is the jackal behind. So it's like later on, he kind of says a line, where they kind of compare, where he's like, "Well, why do you do this?" And it's like there's an illusion that like she is on the precipice of kind of being that. She does do stuff, as you all pointed out, where she's kind of an asshole. Like she's kind of like she does mean stuff to people, and the jackal obviously is just the pure expression of that. Whereas she doesn't quite get that she either has to fully commit to like what he does almost, but she can't quite see it. She still sees herself, and that's kind of what gets her killed. I mean,
Yeah,
but
I'm curious if that was shot in one uh like camera frame or if they two shots stitched together just because of like
mm,
how clear both of
yeah, with the lighting like
the
that, I don't
lighting.
know.
I'm just curious. That's something I'll have to
Uh,
look up for myself. But yeah, so that happens, and then Bianca moves on, and we got a red dot on Bianca's head. I think we're kind of
No, no, no.
expecting.
Wait. Yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
this was the red dot. That's how her partner died.
yeah.
Yes. Yep. So it
I
Well,
thought we
wasn't.
had already talked
she
about that.
goes
I'm
and
sorry.
she bashes the security alarm to flush him out, and then instead of like setting up any like type of like good ambush or anything, they just both kind of stand there going,
Yeah. Yeah. So he takes a bullet for her, and he gets, which is another person she got killed. But yeah, anyway,
yeah,
on his own doing too. So then they're having that conversation that Jake was talking about, and he pretty much they're like, I like to win, I like to win, and he knows the house that she doesn't know, and he goes, "Let me just go walk around the corner and get behind her real quick,"
yeah.
and
Which is so funny because it's like check your like you're standing in the open, woman.
right,
Like what are
my
you
back would be
doing?
against the yeah.
Yeah, get
Um,
to cover.
My
Like you,
man,
yeah,
yeah,
I wouldn't even be going in the house, honestly.
that's what I was about to
Um,
say.
well,
I would have stayed outside, bro. You're gonna have to
yeah.
come shopping, grocery shopping or something. I'll be waiting
yeah.
for your ass right here in the woods.
Yeah,
Uh,
or it's like that he had to approach by car, so why weren't you sitting there waiting for him to approach by car and just when
right.
he gets out of the car, you
That's
just
even better thinking. Yeah,
drop
take
his
It,
just got
ass
him,
when he doesn't
got him on
expect
the
it?
drop.
Because she
yeah.
wanted
Yeah,
him alive.
I know, but you can shoot him in the leg. Okay,
Right. Spin the wheel and just get it done.
Oh, the
shoot.
wheel.
But so then that happens, and Bianca gets popped right
Yeah,
after he says, "But it does have to end this way" or something.
yeah.
She gets
She's yeah,
popped, and something that Corey wanted to talk about is like bullet bullet wounds on these two interactions, which
yeah.
I
Yeah,
just feel like the other guy just was it one shot. I don't know
Yeah.
why I keep thinking it
both
was
of them are
multiple.
one shot kills. And
Yeah.
what's just interesting to me is like throughout this whole show, we've seen the entries of in the head of these kills that he's hit. But when he kills Bianca's partner, it shows him go down, and then like blood's kind of coming out of his mouth a little bit, but you see no entry wounds. And then
Hmm.
the same thing when he kills Bianca, she gets hit, and you can see like she knows she's hit, and then she goes down. But they both have, I'm sure they both have vests on and stuff like that, so it couldn't have
Yeah, they
been a
did.
chest shot.
I think she got shot in the neck.
That's what I was thinking, but I figured they would show it. It doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. Like get some blood gurgling out of there,
I'm one of
or
those people. Like if I don't see a like for sure on screen death, I don't believe it. Like I think I might see them in season
Yes,
two somewhere.
correct.
So and as we wrap this up, and I want to talk about the writing and everything built up. One, as we're progressing through this, you're starting to get a sense that um, the wife, Jackal's wife, is like, I'm not a part of this. No, I'm out. And that just didn't add up to me with how the whole season went, and then just a clip
I
like
think
that.
I
Like,
understand
I,
it, Trey.
I mean, I guess you didn't feel safe in the kid, right? Is that where
Yeah,
you're
I
going?
think that she was down until she saw what happens when she tells him about a problem. He takes care of it like that, and not we're not talking about just like let's talk it out. We're talking about somebody's dead.
Yeah.
in like supreme fashion, real quick. That's that'll scare somebody. You know, imagine if he gets mad at you.
And she was so scared
Well,
of
now
that
he is.
gangster. She was so scared of
Yeah.
that gangster with her brother and knew how bad news that was.
Yeah.
And then he kills that gangster.
Yeah, he took care of
So is there
business.
going to be repercussions from that kill? You know, like she
Man,
knows
he
that
ain't worried about
they're in
that. We ain't gonna
danger.
never hear from them again.
Yeah.
He's not, but she
They're
might
not
be.
getting paid no more. Their boss got murdered, bro. They're looking for new employment.
So, and when I go back to like the writing, just being like, all right, let's wing it, make sure we write good enough around like the two key things we need to hit on, which is Bianca's death and the family, I guess. I feel like there's so many things that's like, why was this important? And this is one. He's driving, a car is tailing him coming up, and then he gets hit. What was the significance of any of that? Like, we didn't
I
even
got it.
need it to happen. We didn't need it to
So
Because
happen. You
nothing
can't tell
happens
me
after
nothing.
him. Yeah,
Go on,
nothing
go ahead.
happens.
This is what happened. We forgot to talk about something. The handler actually makes a phone call
Yeah.
to the Jackal saying,
Mhm.
"Hey, are you in Spain?"
Yep.
And he's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Because they know you're there and they're coming for you." So
Right.
that was before he even knew that MI6 was after him.
And I totally get
So
that. But
and then I think that the cars that were following him was the handlers people,
of
and then
course.
that's who hit them with the car.
Right.
But at the
But she
end,
asked him how he got out of there.
yeah,
Right.
she said,
Yeah.
"How did you survive that?" So I think that might be something that they flash back to because you know they use
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
in
using
season
flashbacks.
two,
They
yeah,
might flash
It'll
back to
definitely
that in
be that,
season.
but we're
That's
asking
how it
why
started,
even
I
put it
think.
like why?
Why?
Yeah.
What was the purpose
It's
if you're
just
gonna make us wait till
pointless.
season 2?
Yeah.
Fluff, fluff, fluff,
Fluff.
But
fluff.
it didn't
It's a
fluff nothing
dramatic
for
moment.
me. Yeah, it
They
didn't
just
fluff
wanted to
nothing for me.
show
It
that
was
this guy's
just
superpower is surviving car accidents.
exactly. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he just flips in cars all the time, and he's just like, "I'm good." Next scene we see him, he's all right. He's
Yeah, he's
fine.
all right. He does
He's got
have
a
some
couple
good scars.
significant scars on his
Yeah.
face.
He's
Which
Oh, Trey, here's
fine.
something else
Whatever. He's
I thought
good.
about with that as well. They gave us some material that Bianca and that guy that she was with on the rogue mission, that they had some sort of history. Remember we talked about it before?
yep.
Yeah.
We never got anything from that, number one. And number two, now she's gonna be dead in a house with this dude, and her husband's gonna have to find out about it. I wonder if he knew about their
He's not gonna
relationship
find out about
before.
that. That's a
Oh,
black mission, man. They ain't gonna.
You don't think
They're
they'll
gonna be
tell
like,
her husband? Oh
nah.
man.
They'll say she's dead, but they won't tell her. They'll be like, she died a hero in a traffic stop or some bullshit.
yeah.
Right.
That's what they
I,
do, man.
and on that note, who's more happier about Bianca's death, us as the viewers or her husband? Just
Oh
Us.
my god.
Probably
Us.
he's already moved in with his ex-wife. He's
right.
just by the
That's
time
I'm
this is
just
over.
saying,
That was
taking all
pretty
the
funny.
Yeah, it's over with. That his baggage just left.
yeah. He's like,
he's
whew.
like, he's like, this cleaned things up, and I got a free daughter out of it.
Right.
Cool,
He's
why
like, this
not,
took
you know?
way too long. But yeah.
Yeah.
So when we go into the closing scene, I got something to say. Unless we're gonna talk about something else before the closing scene.
No, closing scene. He's well, before we go to the closing scene, OC got a text
Yeah,
from Bianca
that's
that
important.
said, "If I don't make it out of this, you know what happened, or who sent me." Blah blah blah.
Isabel,
Isabel sent
yeah.
me. If I don't make it out of this, you know. And then OC deleted it, and he just sat back. And I think what it showed about OC is he's he's not willing to risk. He's a company man, is what I think they
Mhm.
would call it.
I
But yeah,
think
we'll
that
go.
something with the text messages to the United States might have something else
Oh, it does.
going
We're,
on,
Yeah,
and that's why
yeah.
he's trying to just stay low key right
Yeah.
now because something
So,
else is going to
season
come with
two,
him next
someone
year.
else is about to come into play from America, which is probably going to be like Ryan Gosling or something. It's somebody's coming from America to come after the Jackal.
Ryan Reynolds.
The American assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey, I do have one thing though as well, Trey. So like I think they named the show perfectly because
The
the
day.
whole thing was based on this guy changing his character and nobody knowing who he was. And then by the very end, he doesn't even know who he is. He's a jackal to himself. He's changed
Yeah.
his morals completely. You know what I mean? Like we don't even know what he's gonna do when he finds his wife. Like is he
I
you know what I
got,
mean?
I
Like
got
is
a
he
theory.
angry at her at
Yeah.
this
I
point?
got a theory. He says he needs to find someone first when he's talking to the handler.
Well, yeah, he's
Because
talking
he
about his
shows
wife.
His
so
wife.
Yeah,
no, 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 no. What she does is she gives the paper to show like, hey, this is the guy you need to go for, right?
Right,
The
because
handler's
she
boss.
needs that done for herself too. Yeah.
Right. So is he going for his job or is he going for the family? Think about this. He said, I need to find someone first. So a lot of people are dead in the series, right? Guess who's not dead, and we don't know where he is. The only thing we've ever seen him is in flashbacks.
Oh,
The
his
spotter.
spotter.
He's gonna find his spotter so he can help him get this next kill for this next
Okay.
job.
He don't
Yeah,
even know
that
who the
could be
kill
fun.
is.
Yeah,
And he's been
it's
doing completely fine by himself. I think he's going to find his wife first.
I don't
I
know,
think
man.
it's the wife,
I don't
but
know.
I see
The
the
wife is too
spotter.
obvious.
I think the spotter is an
Yeah,
important thing, but I don't think that's a priority. I do think
Yeah.
the spotter's coming up, but I think it's his wife, and I'll tell you why. I think he's pissed that she took that wooden plane that he made. He wanted to keep
it
that.
meant so much to
Oh my
me.
Yeah.
god.
What we know about him so far is that he really values his stories.
Yep.
He really values his wooden planes that he
Yep.
makes, and and don't stab him in the shoulder. Like these are like the basic things with this guy. Other than that, honorable dude.
Exactly.
He's cool. He's a good guy. Just don't take my plane.
But yeah, Corey, I mean, you're right. You wrapped it up there. That conversation. He looks like some weirdo now. Honestly,
Yeah.
got
He
dark
even
hair and
he even
everything.
walks past the security. I don't know if you noticed on that scene, that opening when he
Yeah.
comes in, he's got the glasses on and the scars and stuff like that. He walks past the security. They don't even look twice at him, and he like double takes, like, "Hey, did they just walk past me and not even alert
Yeah.
at
Like, did
all?"
you
Like,
all
it was
not
kind of
even?
that
Do
was
you
kind
not
of
even?
interesting.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. And all right, and that's the wrap up. I want to ask y'all one last question though. What country are they in as they had this conversation?
I
Did
missed
That
y'all
it.
last
catch it?
one.
I don't.
Hold
Didn't
on.
didn't
Let
they
me see.
say it was
I was trying to see if like something popped up saying
yeah, I thought they said it, but maybe not.
it
I'll tell
looks
you
like
right now.
Germany or Amsterdam or something because that the buildings and the trees. But yeah, I can't. Nothing's popping up saying like
I mean, it looks very generally Europe. It's kind of hard to tell.
Budapest.
Budapest,
Budapest.
that's right. Yeah, because yeah.
It's on the train. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that wraps up season two. I mean season 10, or I'm sorry, season one, episode 10. I'm losing it. But yeah, I didn't care for episode 10. I think it was
Yeah,
just I think it was like let's just confuse everybody watching now at this point. But I mean they already had a sold on a season two
I
halfway
kind
into
of
it. So
yeah, I
For
kind of
sure.
felt like 10 was a rushed like preamble to 2, and then also just like kind of wrapping up a couple of loose ends. But I agree with you. It didn't really it didn't really advance anyone too much for me, other than a couple of those like great shots, like the shot with the
yep.
two-way mirror, and again, some of the cinematography was great. I think that they did kind of just make some for character advancement purposes, whether it made sense or not. They just kind of made decisions, and they felt a little rushed. Like, oh,
Yep.
oh shoot, we got to wrap up the storyline.
Yep.
Let's kill all
Almost.
these people
Final
that's not going to be in season 2 and just go on about it.
I have a
yeah.
Yeah.
question.
Final thoughts from anybody else.
So what's gonna what do you think? What do you all think is happening in MI6 right now? After Bianca got killed, the homeboy got killed as well. The dude that was with her. They know that the Jackal's still out there. What is the story of MI6 right now? Like, what are they telling their employees? Are we still chasing the Jackal? Did they get him?
Oh, they shut it
They
down,
they
and
closed
like
the case.
yeah,
Well,
they
that's what
It,
I'm
it does
saying
say
though.
it's
So
a
Yeah.
what?
closed
So it's
case.
still an open closed case. Like he's still out there, and they're just gonna let him
yeah.
run.
I think he would
No.
probably be a
I
person
think
of
so.
interest or like a wanted person. So if they run
So it's
into
not
Oh,
him,
closed.
then
OC and the white guy,
Mhm.
I don't never know what his name was, but the guy they tried to frame at first,
Yeah.
he's about to have like some like file saved on everything he's been looking up.
Mhm.
Watch. Yeah. But
Yeah,
no,
because he describes him as slippery, and he
yeah,
kind of seemed like he was almost a red herring for a little while.
yeah. So
But
we'll
he's
see how that plays out. But
yeah,
that's the end of episode 10.
It's
We'll
a good
probably
show.
get good show. I give
yeah,
it
it was good.
9 out of 10. I already put the stars on the thumbnail.
Yeah, I'm with that. 9 out of 10.
I give it 9 out of 10. But yeah, that was it. And we'll see y'all back soon after the holiday break. Y'all enjoy y'all's holidays, and
Yeah, you too.
we'll see what we go into next. I'm just gonna end the live. I want to ask you guys a quick question, real quick.
Okay.
All right, live is ended. All right, so real quick, um, y'all
Hang
want
on a
to
second.
like,
No. Hang on, guys. Real quick.
Good
Go.
with the odds of something bad
jeez,
like that happening right when you got.
damn, yeah.
Oh,
Uh, but Corey can jump into this. So, how do y'all feel about like we're gonna get back on track of watching a pilot, and then we binge it and talk about it, obviously. But curious of the time frame of everything that y'all would feel comfortable with because I think it would be cool.
My bad. The
if
little
if
man was feeding wipes to the dog.
you're good.
Oh,
If we looked at this like a 30-day calendar, for example, and say we started off day one with, all right, watch a pilot, we review it, decide it's binge worthy or not, and if we, I guess, binge it, then we binge it and come back and talk about it. But then the next time we come back and talk about it, it might be a longer, like a media day, and like we talk about this whole um, story or whatever, but then also review a movie that we saw, and then we don't come back. Like we literally only
Like
just
just do one long boy.
yeah, we literally just record twice in a month where it's the all right, here's about the pilot, and then we come back, we review a movie we
Oh,
saw
I
and
see.
that, and then I'll just cut it up to where we say, and then we come back weeks later and do it again. I don't know. I just think it would be a good mix up to have. Y'all just let me know if y'all want to get back to
Are you
also
saying you want to
watching
record all the
movies.
material in 2 sets and then you just
Pretty
chop
much.
it up however you want later?
There's that to think about, but also to get us back to like getting back in theater. I don't know if y'all, because I
mm,
know Chris enjoyed that. I did enjoy it too, but it's like get a balance of that.
yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Let's
I
watch
also think,
Gladiator today.
yeah,
one
Yeah,
of
I'm
the
oh,
going to
movies,
see.
right?
I want to make our movie to talk about Gladiator for sure. That's
yeah,
yeah, but
yeah, and I think that we do need to, I
but
think, yeah, I
yeah,
think
it's
getting back
also
into some of that is also some bigger. It's bigger